Hi everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming back and joining me again today. We're back for day 14 of the hashtag ABC April 2025, hosted by Margerth at Seven Plaza and Toni from Crafting by Toni. And wow, what a collaboration this is. It's huge. Anyway, we are halfway there now. We're at the halfway point. We're on letter L, and I'm going to do layers today. So if you saw my kite pockets yesterday, or should I say Saturday, I did a sort of little grungy bit on one of them, and it just got my juices flowing, and I thought, right, I want to do mixed media. So I thought I'm going to do layers and do a little bit of a mixed media sort of page. I'm just going to do it as a blank sort of page, and that you can stick into any of your journal pages, or even as a topper for a journal. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I think what we'll do first is we'll make a start. So I have this A4 piece here. I'm thinking that I might want to cut it down, but I think what I'm going to do first, because we need to start with layers, so I'm going to sort of do it as a little bit of a masterboard, I think. So let's do it. I'm going to use this new glue. I'm hoping that it's going to work. I might want to cut this down a little anyway, because I want it to be able to fit on a page somewhere. So I'm just going to start really by ripping things up and gluing things on. Oh, I like that better than the writing. I'm not sure if I like this. I think I'm going to go to my glue stick. So I'm just going to pop that up to there. And then I'm not bothered that they're sort of all, that it's straight. I'm just going to get on with it and do it. Making too much noise. I want to lift that up because I want to just shove that underneath. So it's got a bit of an edge to it. Might not be able to. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm not bothered if I overlay or I think that's a bit too dark. I think I want it there, across that edge there. Because all I'm really doing is sort of doing it as a background, as a starting point. And all of my edges are going to be straight because it's going to be a page, so I haven't got to worry about, yeah. I'll break all that dark up. This is a lighter. I think I'll put it there. Yeah, not liking the glue. Isn't it funny how you get used to certain things and you just can't change? Oh, that was a bit pointless. Now we could have gone completely light on here. There's one piece there. I'm probably going to cut. So I'm going to pop that over because I don't want this to be too dark. Now lower down. I want it to cover this dark bit of here. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry and then I'll come back for our next layer. So that's our first layer. And you could have just covered this with the same paper. It didn't have to be, you know, short, smaller pieces. You could have just done one full piece. And then I'll cut it out, I'll get it dry, and then I'll come back for the next layer. So I've dried it and I've cut it down to 5.5 by 7 3/4, and I don't like the glue at all. It's left bumps. I mean, in this particular occasion, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be grunged up, so it's going to be layered, and it's not going to really impede too badly. So that will fit nicely on a you know, a full size journal page. I think could do with perhaps cutting it down maybe a little bit more widthways. I did it at 5.5. Maybe it wasn't quite enough. Anyway, we'll digress. So what I'm going to do first is I want to get some texture paste on it. So I need a stencil, and I've picked sort of two that I quite like. I quite like this one and I quite like this one. So I'm going to put them both on. I'm going to do a bit of both. So the texture paste that I use is one from, what's her name? Jules from JT Creations. She makes her own paste, and I've been following and doing this for a while. This is the second tub I've used, and it's 4-part talc to 2-part white acrylic paint to 1-part PVA glue, and its texture paint is perfect. You just need it to be in an airtight container, and it lasts for absolutely ages. This is perfect. It's just the perfect texture all the time. It is a smooth paste though, but it's beautiful and it works every time. It's great. So I'm going to get a bit on my, it does go dry around the sides, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. If I put I want my mixed media mat out. If I actually put in cling film on the top, it probably wouldn't do that. And if I scrape the edges each time I did it, I wouldn't probably get it around the edges either. So I'm just going to come in with a light. I don't want too much. Just in different places. And use that one like that, and then just get a bit more texture paint on the end of there. The only thing you've got to be careful with when you're doing the texture paint, I only really need to go around the edges. I don't need to go in the middle too much, purely because that's where you're going to be doing most of your design. And I'm going to put this one downwards, so I have to use it this way. Yeah, perfect. Yes. And then what I want to do is, I've got a little bit down there that I don't want, where I've just caught the edge of the paper. And then I just want to get a mark off there. And then I just want to do this edge here, where it's gone over a bit. But yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll just go and clean off my stuff and let that dry, and I'll be back for our next layer. So our next layer is going to be spray stain. Now I've only got these three as well. I've got Bundle Sage, Rusty Hinge and Stormy Sky. But I've also made my own up with some alcohol ink that I just put into normal spray bottles. And I've got an orangey tone, which I'll just clean up on there. Okay. So that's my orangey one. This is I sort of want it to run like this through those bits. And I'm not really paying much attention to where it's going or what it's doing. It does dry pretty quick. I like that brown. I do like it. Let me just get some dibby dabby papers on there. It's nice. Never let a moment go to waste. And then I've got this greeny colour. Oh, look at that. That one down there. So I've let that dry. Well, I've dried it with my heat tool. And I'm going to come in now with a few of the proper distress stains. Just to see if I can get a little bit more. I need a bit of spray. A little bit of water. Now I haven't put glue in it, but I'm just like having a bit of a play really. That's nice and dark. Come in with the green again. Maybe just for some splatter. Yeah. Perfect. And I should have worn gloves, but I didn't. Just clean that up. I'll just dry that off again and yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so there's the finished result. Our fourth layer is then going to be just building up on a collage. So we're going to want, I would say we're going to want fabric, I think, first for some texture. So I'm quite liking this. It's got the oranges in. So I'm thinking something quite big in the middle. So I want a fairly biggish piece. I don't know whether I want some green on that. Maybe a different colour would be actually better. Let's just try this green. Could put it in 2 parts. Yeah, I like the green better. I'm liking that green. Maybe. Let's think about it. Then I'm thinking of probably do with another bit of texture really. I like the layers of the textures. I think that's going to be too thick, but I think I could colour this and we could put something, maybe a layer of it anyway, at least. Even if it's just, sort of down here. But I'm thinking of colouring it, even if it's just with me ink dauber. Let's see what we can get with ground espresso on there. That's working nice. Oh yeah. Okay, so that worked. So I'm thinking that as my next layer, either down this side, maybe down that side actually. Liking it. I have got this, which could go somewhere, but I've still got some bits in it. Although I don't actually mind the odd one. Oh, I forgot I've got a cup of tea. So it's just all about creating, layer upon layer to get the desired look or something that you like. And you can swap it around, you can change it. Let me move that mat because we don't need that mat. You can change it around, you can do whatever you want. And it's just a straightforward collage piece, really. I mean, that's going to need colouring, isn't it? But I do quite like that as well. And I do quite like this film strip. So I'm just going to dirty it up and go around the edges. I mean, you're not going to see most of it. Is that dirty enough, do you think? No. I want to dirty that up a bit more. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to scrumple it up. And then I'm going to open it up. And then where it's bended, I'm going to just go over in with your ink. Just gives it that. And then we can straighten that out again. And then I'm thinking of putting this down here. Not sure about this, but we'll dirty that up just a little. Just in case we use it. Oh, actually, that'd look nice down there. So I'm liking it so far. And then maybe the next layer, so that would be our sort of, textured layer, if you like. I'm liking this. It sort of gives it a bit of a pop, doesn't it? But I want something on it. That's quite nice. I'm gonna, before I do this last layer, I'm going to just do this fourth layer here. Just start getting it glued in, otherwise we could be here all day. So I'm going to use my collab just to get this stuck down. And I'm just going to put it sort of where I think I'm going to need it. It only needs to have a little bit, but I do want to stretch it out and sort of layer it on. And then I'll get this second piece and we'll pop that down here. Across here. There we go. And then we're going to need, I found some of that because I'd like to put some of that on. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on. And I think I am going to put it down this way. So I'm just going to lay that on the top. Just hold that down a bit while that sticks on. Then I think I'll pop this in somewhere. Where? Maybe half on half. Maybe. Yeah. I'll use my art glitter for this there. Okay. I get my tweezers because my fingers are glued up. Okay, you might need to press it down a little bit for it to stay in place, at least until your glue dries. It's just the layers that cause it. I do sort of like this at the bottom, but I don't want to do it too early. And I also want some of this. Now, it's just a piece of twine that I've just found in me, because I've got bluey fingers, in my little basket, and I've just separated it. And I don't mind that knot. And I'm just going to sort of wrap it around a little bit just to sort of let it, yeah, like that. So I'm just going to wrap it around and just tie it up. It doesn't need to be tied. I just want to sort of give it a bit of movement. I'm going to put some at the top and some at the bottom. I'd like that knot there on the outside. So I'm going to pop that there. And I'm just going to pop a few bits of glue here and there. What I put on top will probably keep that down. Okay, it doesn't have to be set in stone or anything. Just going to leave it wherever it falls, really. For now. Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure about that. I want it on, but I just don't know where until I start putting my other bits on. Now, I found these leaves, and I sort of want to bring the leaf out, but I want to cover that up. So we're just going to start layering the fifth and final layer now. And I do like this. I think that looks pretty cool. But I think that one just looks a bit too... In fact, if it was to come out of from underneath there, would it look odd? Maybe not. Maybe that's too low though. I don't know, can't tell. Yeah, I sort of like that there. And I'm thinking, this is the trouble when you've got the fibrous layers on. It's harder to sort of see where you want to go. I do like this orange one though, but this one's smaller still. And I'm thinking that this could come out of here. I wonder if we could put that in. I just don't like this straight edge. So I'm wondering if I could just stick that in like that. And then I've got these leaves, which are brown, which I'm thinking could come out. From underneath. I don't like those white bits in there. Might have to cut those out. Oh, I quite like that actually. I'm about changing the butterfly, leave those down. I'm about changing the butterfly for this one. See, I do like that. But do I like it better than the orange? No, I do like the orange. I think we'll stick with the orange. And then I just want some words now. And maybe some numbers. I do like that. Those white bits though have got to come out of there because I don't like it unless I can darken that up. You might be able to get away with it. Okay, that one's edged. So let's start now with so we've got our fourth layer down, which is all our fibrous stuff and a little bit of added texture. I think I am going to stick that one down. I think, oh no, I can't do it with I'm going to have to just hope for the best with this. And I think I'll stick it a bit lower down. Across there. Yeah. So you don't really want everything so flat. And then I'm thinking this. Or do I want that at the top? Let's ink the butterfly up because I think we're definitely going to go with the orange. I sort of want him a little bit flexible. So I'm just going to stick his body down so he's sort of 3D, 2D. I don't know which D it is. Yeah, I think he needs to be a little higher up. I'm not sure he needs to be bigger. We'll see. And I'm not sure if I want this at the top. Right, yeah, I'm not covering that. I want it down here to cover this. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that on so that I can start with the fifth and final layer. Well, actually, there's 2 more layers. So I'm going to sort of stick this sort of hard one off there. And let that just grab where it needs to. And then I need to place you back so that I can put the leaves on. And let's put this one in, see if we can get away with that white. In fact, if I put that up there, could probably get away with that white. I'm not sure now whether it needs something else. It's very, very busy. No, I think we will. I think I'm going to stick those leaves where they are. So that one's going to go about there. What did we say about here? Okay. And this one needs to go first. Don't you just love mixed media getting messy, and I sort of want you there, don't I? Move that out of the way so that this one can go on the top. Whoops. I think I want it to sort of come so that leaf looks like that. It's coming. It's getting there. I think now, I think we're going to put our, I think we're going to put our butterfly on. Am I absolutely sure that that's big enough? And that one doesn't look a bit better. What about if you put the 2 on? No. No, because it needs to sort of be up here, doesn't it? If you're going to put the 2 on. Oh, I do like that though. Dilemma. No, let's just stay with 1. That was the original thought. I do like that. I think it blends too much though. I think you need something to make it pop, and that's probably the biggest one I've got in this orange. I like it. No, let's just go with it. Okay. I'm just going to put that on in the middle there. So I want it to sort of come like that. Do I? Like that. Okay. And these wings will come up then, just slightly off. And then we can finish off with some numbers and a few words. Now I could always, just to make these bigger, I do want something up here though. Let's just have a look. I keep coming off the screen, don't I? Now I could either do that, and then I could just randomly put the odd number in other places. Oh, I'm bending it up. No, that's too random. I just don't like the idea of that. I've got a 76. The thing is, when you do it over something. It's almost like it's too high up. I don't know. No, I like those numbers better, but I'm not sure that's the right place for them. Let me put the words on. Stay positive. I quite like that. I think they need to be on something though, do you? Yeah, I'm liking that. Now I want the numbers. And I'm thinking now, side by side maybe. Yeah, I like that as well. I have got another word, but I don't know. No. I think what I want is I want an 8 and a 2. I've bent me 2. Hopefully fine. Oh, actually, I quite like that. I'm going to go with that. It just needed something to fill this area up. So, I think we're going to put those on. I'm going to put these on. Because I've decided that they're fine. So that's that one. That's going on there. This one is going on. I don't want that underneath, I want to do the top. And I think, do I want to border them? Given what we, no. Just go with it, Kay. I want it to go right to the edge of the page. There we go. I like that. I like that one there. And I like this one here, although that needs to be darkened there. Okay. And I'll have that one coming off the page, I think. I've got blue stuck to the top. There we go. It's come off. Alright, now, last two. Does it need them? Actually, I'm not sure it does. Let's just have another quick look. I don't know. I do like them. No, it needs to go over here, doesn't it? No, I'm gonna put them on. Just the last two finishing touches for this one. Do I put them skew? I think I do, because that one's all set to go down there. Yeah, like that. Oh, I like it. Oh, I'm quite happy with the way that's come out. I think maybe I've done it a bit big. I should have actually cut it down a little bit more, I think. What size did I do it? 5.5 by 7 3/4. Probably needed to be 5. So I could have done with taking that 1/2 inch off there, and then I think it would have been the perfect size. But yeah, we went with what we had. So I do like that. I think it's cool. What I'm going to do, just to finish off, this is the last layer now. So we've done 5 layers up to now. We did the paper on the bottom, then we did the paint, then we did the fabric textures, then we did this, which is the 4th. So the 5th and last one is just going to be some splatter. Now, I quite like the idea of black, but I don't know whether white would be better. So I'm going to try white. So I've got a bit of white paint in a dish. All I'm going to do is use some spray. I just need to get it off my finger because I've just put my finger in it. I'm just going to do a couple of sprays. Get my splatter brush. Now you don't need a splatter brush for this, but you can need that to be a bit wetter, I think. You don't want to dilute the colour too much though, that's the thing. And then I'm just going to, oh, that was a nice splatter. Oh yeah. I should have put my messy mat down. It's gone all over the place. That's enough. I always go overboard with splatter, but I love it. That's it. I want a bigger blob. I want a bigger blob up there. Liking it. Okay, I'm just going to wipe that up before it marks all my desk. Because it is acrylic paint and it will mark it. It's a nightmare to get off actually once it's dry. So there's your 5th and final layer. And what do you think? I love it. Actually, I could do with a bit more. Do you think you could do with a bit more paint? I do like a bit of splatter. Maybe. Oh, now I've ruined it. Didn't want that much on my butterfly. I actually quite like the effect that's given. Like a wishy-washy. And now I can splatter again. That's better. Maybe it needs black as well. What do you think? I think maybe a bit of black would be better as well. A bit of water. And a splatter brush. Doesn't need much, but I just wanted a bit of black on as well. Yeah, that's more than enough. Okay, so a bit overboard, but we got there in the end. I actually quite like it. And I know that was a mistake doing the white splatter on that butterfly, but I actually quite like the effect it's given on the butterfly. It's sort of dulled it down a bit too much though for me. But I quite like it for all of that, and I think it looks, I think it was great. I've enjoyed it. I think I just enjoy having a mixed media play day and seeing what comes up. You know, if you just have a play with some stuff, it's just such an enjoyable thing to do, mixed media. And it is a little messy, you know, but just prepare for that. Unlike me, just prepare for it. You know, put a sheet down, get your stuff out, just play. And I'm sure you will create something that you will enjoy looking at. Because I mean, I would have no problem putting that up on my shelf and just looking at that because I love it. I think it's come out okay. It's not great, and we made a few mistakes along the way, but I'm liking the effect, and I think that's how you learn. So thanks for coming along and joining me today and coming along for the ride. It's been interesting, let's say. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.